Hi, I'm Guest75 again. It's been a little while, but I'm here now with my buddy Poya, and we're
Hi,
gonna do a hands-on with the iPhone 6 that's just been released in the Netherlands yesterday. So stay tuned for that.
Like this, for that. Can you feel me, God? Can you feel me, Star? Can you feel me?
So you've had the iPhone for a little while now, a few hours.
iPhone 6, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, man.
What do you think? What do you think about it?
Well, I like it. Well, I haven't been able to use it for a while now. It's basically 2-3 hours that I'm using this phone right now. But it works fine, which I already knew. The thing that I did notice is that the screen reflects differently than the iPhone 5, because before I had an iPhone 5, and even though the spec sheet says that it has the same amount of
Density?
yeah.
326.
It does look a little bit sharper. I don't know why. Maybe because it's a different kind of glass. I mean, it's a different structure in my opinion. I'm not sure. We will do a hands-on later on, so you can guys.
Yeah, we'll switch cameras.
Yeah.
So matter of fact, we'll switch cameras right now. Actually. So you were saying?
Yeah. So when I look at the screen, first thing that I notice is when I go left or right, I can see that the curved glass has such a great feeling when you try to go all the way to one side or the other. It feels solid. It feels good. And the other part that I like about the iPhone 6 above the iPhone 5 is the feel. When you grab it, it's light, it's thin, and it's something that I prefer. A lot of people at least I've heard a lot of people talk about the size, and also about that they didn't like how thin it was, or they didn't like the feel of the iPhone 6. In my opinion, it's better than the iPhone 5. Yeah, well, next to it, I have basically the same software, and they're synced, so all the apps are also the same on both devices. In my opinion, and I'm not sure if my eyes are deceiving me or not, it looks like, and you can see it, everything is on the brightest.
Yeah.
I'll also put Wi-Fi on this one, but you can see that it seems like the iPhone 6 looks a little bit sharper, even though it has the same density, the same pixel density as the iPhone 5. Next to it, I like that it is a bigger screen.
Yeah.
I was thinking about getting the iPhone 6 Plus, but in the end, when I had it in my hand, it felt chunky, even though it's so thin. It doesn't feel right, and
with the bend gate, because apparently it bends because it's too big.
I also saw on the internet about the bend gate of the iPhone 6, but
now this one doesn't bend. This one doesn't.
Well, it does. It does.
They tested it.
Really?
Same guy. Yeah.
Well, I also saw a test that it bended, but it's not about that. It's about that you want to have a solid feeling. You want to have a phone that, when you pick it up, in my opinion at least, that
you can operate it straight away.
Exactly. I don't want to switch to landscape mode and be able to use it. I want to be able to use it with one hand. And well, honestly, I couldn't do that with the iPhone 6 Plus. I've seen someone, I'm not saying anyone, but the guy who's sitting next to me, who can use every phone on one hand.
Yeah.
Show me your hand, Gershwin, because you have a huge hand.
No, my hands only come in pairs, man, with the phone.
Yeah, but it's
But I know what you mean.
You're capable of using every phone. I mean, you can show me your other phone. I mean, it's crazy, man.
So we have a Lumia 1520 over here, 6-incher.
I mean, you can use that phone even with one hand. I mean, that's crazy.
And actually, on the subject of other devices, like, because a lot of people compare this to the HTC One M8. What do you think of that device? Like, because it also has the same traits. It's also made of metal, really good craftsmanship. It sits well in the hand. Why was that one not the one going for you?
In the end, for me, it's about the ecosystem.
Okay.
And iOS is, in my opinion, more stable and has a better software. Unity.
Support.
The support, and again, I have a lot of devices. I've also got my iPad Air. I have got my other Apple device.
Well, you had a 5 also.
Yeah, so I can simply sync with all of them, and I can use iCloud. It's just easier for me to stay with iOS. Plus, I got
and if you didn't take the ecosystem in consideration, would you have made the switch maybe?
Maybe because honestly, the 3 phones that I was thinking about were the Z3 Compact from Sony, and of course the M8, HTC One M8. It's a beautiful phone, and it's probably the best Android phone in the market right now.
Yeah. And this design, does it remind you of anything? Because I'm somebody, I like the multi-platform. I have like a lot of different phones on different platforms.
Yeah.
I have a really rare one with me right now actually. Because I think, especially with the curved glass and everything, this is an 8S, 2 years old now. I don't like Samsung devices in particular, but this one was they actually hired the designer for this. But I think that's the joke that was been going around, because it's an S3 for 80%, but they actually designed the phone for a change. Now with the Alpha and this one. But don't you think there's a lot of similarities with the curved glass and everything like that?
Yeah, but I've seen the curved glass and also many other devices, so I'm not sure if I can say that.
Because it looks pretty, when you look at the shape, it's pretty uniform, right?
Yeah, but you can say that of many other phones, from LG to HTC as well. And even your Nokia, which Nokia do you have over there?
The 1520.
The 1520 also has the unibody, and it also has the curved glass, which looks great. Still hard to believe that you can use it with one hand.
Yeah.
Show it, please show it, and everyone how you.
I've got big hands, but the thing is with because everybody knows from my channel I'm a Windows Phone enthusiast. It doesn't have a lot of elements sitting around. You can just do everything with one swipe. I mean, I have all my apps here. If I want to go to the bottom, I can just press a letter to get wherever I want. So and all the navigational buttons are on the bottom. And of course, like on iOS, you really have to, if you want to go back in an app, you have to have the back button over here. And usually with other apps, you have the buttons on the bottom. So I have the back button over here. So
Isn't it also what you're used to?
Now the thing is, for one-handed usability, that's a lot easier. I have the back button right here. I don't have to stretch all the way here. The only thing that I have to stretch is because it's a new trend. This is Windows 8.1 with the new build. Is the notification draw. So that's the only thing that I need my second hand for, if I'm honest. Everything else is just really reachable. So I think that's a kind of a distinction that you can make with iOS and other platforms.
Yeah, you're right, and I'll be honest with you. I think that the M8 was probably my second choice. If I didn't go for the iPhone 6, I would have probably gone for an M8 or the Sony Xperia Z3 Compact.
Yeah, it's too bad I don't have an M8 with me right now, because that would be a perfect partner to compare, because I've seen a lot of videos and comparing them side by side.
Yeah, but let me change the subject for a while. First of all, what is your opinion about the iPhone 6? Because honestly, I love it, because that's the reason why I got it, So, what's your opinion about it? I want to see from someone from Windows Phone to Android. What is your...
Don't forget BlackBerry.
And BlackBerry, of course.
Shout out to It's Me, Jay-Z. BlackBerry 10OS fans. My opinion, I actually thought at first you were going to get the 6 Plus, because that one has a lot of extra features that you don't have in other phones.
Yeah.
Well, you do have in other phones, but you don't have in the iPhone.
Yeah.
But now with the 6, I like it, I like the shape and everything, but again, the hardware, like it's not really mind-blowing. I mean, the PPI is the same at 326.
Yeah.
The camera is the same at 8 megapixels. Obviously, it's got a little better quality. But if I look at it like this, Samsung is a 2-year-old device, and in terms of like raw specs, yeah, it's completely comparable. You know, I mean, it also exceeds 300 ppi. They both have 8 megapixel cameras on the front. The screen size is the same. Obviously, you don't have 64 gigabytes internal storage on this one, but you can put an SD card in it.
Yeah, but
so from that standpoint, I don't find it really like innovative or anything. But I guess what you can say about it is the stuff that it does good, that it is good at, it does really good.
Yeah, I think that's the most important thing. That a lot of people who just look at the spec sheet will think that Apple has no chance.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Well, that they're behind the curve.
Yeah.
And they are in a sense, but if you see everything coming together, because I've actually experienced that from the transition from Android to Windows Phone. I mean, the two things that these platforms have in common is that they're very, very smooth to operate. Without requiring monster specs, as you say.
Yeah.
And that's something that really took to realize that I had a Windows.
I mean, the iPhone still has an 8 megapixel camera, but it's still one of the best.
Yeah, it's still one of the best.
I mean, I'm just saying the specs isn't I think you have to go always for. It's more about also the feel and also what I mentioned, the ergonomics and something that a lot of people don't say, or at least I don't see many people give any attention to that. I think a lot of people forget that it works fine. The things that it has to do, it does it more than fine.
Yeah.
And that's for me very important, because I'm not a heavy gamer or I don't use my phone in a certain way. I just want to be able to, when I pick up my phone, to be able to do everything that I want to do with it in an instant. And that's what the iPhone 6 and the iPhone 5 gave me. And still.
But you don't think that Android has come to a point? I mean, obviously, I've a little, well, I've seen Samsung phones come by, break them down and stuff. It's usually, when it comes to Android and unstableness, it's usually the Galaxies that have that type of problem. But something like the HTC M8, for instance, or the Sony phones with, you know, with decent update cycles, even LG now. Don't you think they've come also in the it just works category?
Well, that's a good question.
Because the M8, for instance, I mean, we'll see if we can get that one available for another video maybe, but it's, from what I've seen, it's still the fastest phone. I mean, the 5S was the fastest phone before it, and the 6 is actually comparable to the 5S, of course. But the M8 is like crazy. It's like you wouldn't know it was Android if anybody didn't tell you it was Android.
No, but that's the power of the skin. Sense works perfect. Before I had an iPhone 5, I had an HTC Desire HD.
Oh yeah, you did.
Yeah, so I worked with Sense back then, and obviously it has changed.
Yeah, tremendously.
Yeah, tremendously.
That was Android 2.3, my friends.
But still, I remember when I looked at TouchWiz, when I looked at other skins, it looked better. And in my opinion, it still is one of the best skins on Android. And next to that, I don't know, I mean, I'll be honest with you, Gashrin, it was a tough call for me, because I had the HTC M8 in my hand, and it's a stunner, you know, it's a beautiful phone.
I mean, as much as I respect the build quality on the iPhone and iPhone 6, I mean, the M8 is just, you know, that's on the top line.
Yeah, you're right, but I'll tell you why in the end I still picked the iPhone 6. In the end, I own an iPad Air, okay? I own other iOS devices.
Yeah. So you chose the Unity, that content on here is easily accessible on your other.
Exactly.
Okay. Right.
In the end, you want to be able to use more products with the same software, or to sync, or to be able to.
Because that's an interesting thing now. Because obviously with Android you don't really have that. But I have to say, you know, I've got 8.1 on my computer, 8.1 on here. Yeah. And they do the same now. They have these universal apps. You download it here.
That's why I like Windows Phone.
So from that perspective, would you prefer Windows Phone as it is now to Android in their current state?
Yes, definitely.
Because you also have some Windows laptops.
Yes. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I didn't like Windows Phone a year ago. I didn't, because I still thought that the there was some catching up, and yeah, I didn't want to have a platform where a lot of people cannot use all the apps that they can use on the iPhone or Android. But I can see that that has changed. Many apps are working more than fine on.
Because you haven't seen Windows 8.1 yet, of course, because you're not really a user of that. And what do you think of the new functions that they have? I mean, now that we're on the subject of looking at platforms and also phones, because what you see here on the Edit S, I have a background on the background of my tiles. That's something new that they have. Is that something that you're like, hey? Maybe that will also be an interesting option in the future.
Maybe in the future. I see a lot of potential in it. I also believe that if I'm capable of using my phone with my laptop better, if somehow it can get integrated.
Yeah, because it's fully. I mean, I can't show it to you right now. I'll maybe do that in another video. But some games I have on here, like Halo and stuff like that, or Tentacles. Even the saved games, I can just play it on my machine or any other tablet or computer that I have. I mean, obviously with Apple you have that to all your iOS devices, but they're still in the transition to make that kind of functionality available to Mac users. Whereas in Windows, of course, even I think they're coming with a new update.
Oh, you're definitely right.
Next spring, they're gonna be able to do that one-on-one on their desktop operating system and their mobile operating systems. So from that perspective, I mean, yeah.
But again, if you look at the iPhone 6, Gershwin, what would you say about it? And what are the cons? What are the pros?
I think the pros is it's still got an amazing build quality. I mean, that you just do that cold metal. I mean, obviously Samsung owners, you don't know that unless you have an offer or anything else, because this looks like metal, but it's actually plastic.
Let me have a closer look at it.
Yeah.
So basically, we're looking at plastic right now.
Yeah, and it just looks like like pressed aluminum from the ACC M8.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, it does feel solid.
Yeah,
I have to say, you know, it can take a hit and stuff. And again, I'm not really fond of Samsung designs, but this one looks pretty good.
Even
next to an iPhone.
If I didn't touch it, if I didn't tell me, I would say it's a little
I mean, it's a 2-year-old device now. You know, it's a little bit of a throwback, but that's also one thing that you see with Samsung Android phones. And what you do have in Apple, I mean, that's another pro. The software support, you know. That's just, you know, I think the 4S still got the iOS 8 update. I mean,
4 didn't, the 4S did.
That's almost a 3-year-old phone now, you know.
Yeah.
And you see that that's something that's really nice.
Yeah.
And that's very ironic of this phone actually, the Samsung A50s. It's based on the Galaxy S3.
Yeah.
Both released in 2012. The S3 has been thrown off the wagon. It will not get the 4.4 KitKat edition, but this phone gets all of the updates within Microsoft. I mean, I don't know if you know the Lumia 520, the really cheap.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah,
of course.
That one also still gets all of the updates.
Okay, here's the question for you. What does the iPhone 6 need for you to buy it, to get one?
Well, actually, I'm gonna interrupt you on that one right now.